Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about why financial freedom needs to be your main focus going into 2025 and beyond. So a lot of us have things you want to do, right? And to the degree that you're going to be able to do the things you want to do is to the degree you have freedom in your life, freedom to go where you want to go, be where you want to be around who you want to be, and do things when you want to do them, right? Like not have to be a slave to a schedule constantly, right? So let's talk about a couple of things that you can do going into 2025 to start to get the ball rolling when it comes to financial freedom. So number one is you guys got to start budgeting, right? I know it's annoying and it's like boring and it's like frustrating and it's like kind of like an eye-opener to realize like how much money you spend on stupid things, but you have to develop a minimalist mindset to really start to save money every month, right? Because that's where it begins. It begins when you stop spending more than you make, right? So that's number one. You got to budget, and then from that point you can proceed to step two, which is skill set, right? So it's great, you know, that you budget and you have extra money at the end of every month now, and that things are going well, right, in that regard. But the next step is developing skills, right? So your natural proclivities and strengths are different from mine, right? So you might have a skill, like a knack for fixing things, right? Being a repairman, a handyman, or someone who wants to get involved with the trades, right? Me, I'm better with words. I'm better at communicating. I'm better at thinking about ideas and bringing them to the surface, right? That's my skill set, right? Some people need to develop sales skills, copy skills, right? I'm currently in the process of developing those at this moment. So it's great that we budget, right? But the next step is you got to work on developing your skill set. And, you know, if you don't have or you don't know what you want out of life yet, and you don't know the skill set that you're going to need for it, it's okay to wander in the dark for a set period of time, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're young, right, and you're like, you know, just graduating high school, how you doing? Good. Then there's really no need to rush, right? Or you're just like graduating college and you don't know what it is exactly for you yet. There's going to be some degree of like, hey, like I just really don't know what I want out of life yet, right? And it's okay, right? It's okay to not necessarily know what you want out of life, but you need to develop your ability to, you know, like start learning about like different things that you might be good at, right? So like I said, I'm learning sales and copy right now, and obviously content creation. You guys see me posting once, twice every day, right? So I'm learning that as I go, right? And I'm learning like what videos do well and what videos don't do well, right? But it all starts with you. And another thing too is, you know, going back to my point a second ago, if you don't know what you want to do, this kind of leads me to step three. It's like, bro, just start working more hours, right? Start working more, right? So if you want more money, right, and you don't know, like, hey, like, I don't know what trade I want to do, or I don't know if I want to go to school, that's fine. That's totally cool. But you need to understand that you need money, right? And I'm not saying you need to be in a rush to make $50,000 a year right out of high school or right out of college, but you need to get to a decent point where you're making more than your living expenses, right? So once you have a skill set and once you have like a career or a business or something going on, right, where you're making money, then I think it's really important that everyone invests in assets, right? Like, bro, if you're not investing in like, you know, the main asset that most people invest in is a 401k, right? But that's not enough, right? A 401k is like a 20-year retirement plan. A lot of, like, you know, I'd rather retire at 30 than 60, right? And I think a lot of you guys are seeing through the BS of that, right? So invest in assets, index funds, crypto. I have a high interest savings account, and after this bull run, when I take my profits, I'm probably going to put all my money, well, a good chunk of the money I take out into my interest account, right? Because let's say I take $100,000 in profit, right? If I keep that in my Chase savings account, it's not gaining anything, right? But if I keep it in an interest account, at least it's making a few $100 a month, right? Which prolongs my period where I can be free from working a 9 to 5, right? So that's kind of that's my plan, right? So, take some tips from me, because, a lot of you guys don't have enough money yet, which is fine. But that's really the first step, is you need to work more hours or develop the skill set and then invest in assets. But most people can't invest in assets. So once you get to the point where you're able to save money and you've gone beyond your, you're living below your means, then you can you can start to really progress towards becoming rich, right? And that's where I think a lot of think about it, 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So most people can't even invest in assets, right? Let alone do they even know it's possible to open a stock trading account, right? So that's key for your financial freedom, whether that happens for you in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But I think it's safe to say that no matter if you have a business or you're just an employee, I think it's safe to say that everyone wants to at least retire by 40, right? I think I'll be able to do it by 30, right? Next bull run, next crypto cycle, right? Not this one, but the one coming up after that. I think I'll be able to. But I think it's safe to say that most people want to really, they don't want to work past 30 or 40, right? Unless they're doing something they absolutely enjoy and make a really good living doing it. Most people don't want to do that, right? So, those are some key tips to help you get started on the process, right? And a lot of you guys, are looking that you see through the BS, right? You see through the go to school, get a job, work for 40 years, right? Invest in a 401k. And then next thing you know, you're 60, 65. Now it's time for Social Security. Bro, who even knows if Social Security is going to be around? And think about it, right? That is the biggest leech on society. You're taking money from the government, increasing the taxes, right? So employees are kind of like a bog on the system, right? Because you're not providing jobs and you're not providing homes, right? The people that get the biggest tax breaks are real estate property owners, real estate investors, and business owners, right? So it's you're really a leech on society. I'm not trying to say being an employee is bad. We all have to trade time for money at some point in our lives, right? But in general, to get going with financial freedom, right, you have to do one of two things or a combination. And you have to have a business, be self-employed, or invest in assets. Guys, I'll tell you this. If you don't do one or two of those things, or both, you will be stuck working forever, right? Let's say, for example, the average person just content with the bare minimum in life, right? Let's say they make $50,000 a year. Okay, great. They make $50,000 a year. That's awesome. But guess what? If their living expenses are 40, let's say it's 40,000. Let's say a single man, right? Like me, my living expenses are 40,000. I make about $50,000 a year, right? If my income doesn't increase, right, then I'm stuck with the ability to only save $10,000 at the end of each year, right? So roughly $1,000 a month. So with that being said, let's say I want to retire at 65, I'm about to be 25, so 40 years. Let's say I don't make no more than $50,000, right? Which is not going to happen. I'm just trying to illustrate a point. If I am able to save $10,000 a year, 10,000 times 40 is $400,000. So let's say I retire at 65, right? Who knows if Social Security is going to be there? I will only have $400,000, right? So you mean to tell me I just worked for 40 years, right? And granted, my house might be worth a lot. Okay, great. But I just worked for 40 years, right? Just content, doing the bare minimum, not doing anything extraordinary. And at 65 years old, I have $400,000. That's not gonna last me, right? And that's not a good deal. I don't think that's a good deal. 40 years for you to live out 15 years. Think about it. Most Americans die by 85, if they're lucky, 90. So I got 20 years left of my life, but I gave it to the government and I gave it to an employer for 40, just to only like enjoy 10 years of life. And am I really enjoying my 10 to 15 years of life that I have left? Right? Like, just existing. So like, yo, you gotta really push it to the limits when you're young, and you really gotta learn, right? It's okay to make mistakes when you're young, but you can't just be a deadbeat, like brain dead idiot who just goes through the motions year after year, right? And I think a lot of you guys are gonna be okay as it pertains to retirement, but you know, a lot of you guys want to get out by like 30, 35, and I'm telling you, this is the way to do it, right? You can do it through real estate, you can do it through crypto, you can do it through stocks, but you got to choose something, right? So I'm just putting the options on the table, right? I'm just letting you know they exist, but it's up to you to, you know, get a skill set, make more money. It's up to you to work those extra hours. It's up to you to budget, right? And it's up to you to, you know, follow through on those habits day to day, month to month, and year to year, to see the future you want to see, right? To live in the reality that you want to see manifest. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little sunny out, but you know, it's a nice day here in South Florida. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.